To me, experience continuity really means, if you will, everything in one sense. It's what I see when I talk about the experience continuity, is all the products, all the tools we have that are built into our products that actually can offer that true user experience that incorporates everything from network access, automation, over to data analytics in order to understand very complex handover behaviors. And I think that's the way it's built, is really that today the users have all the power, right? So we all know that if you screw up with the service, you're out of users. The user will always define which service will be good and which will be bad, and they are pretty promiscuous when it comes to their choices of different operators, for example. So if an operator doesn't provide them with a good experience, they'll change to another one. And the red thread going through all of this is that the only way to give them a really, really good experience is to think about the whole picture and take it all into account and make sure that they don't need to know, they don't have to care. It's just a really smooth, good service. And that's, I mean, MSOs needs that, operators need that. It's really what it's all built on. I've read a lot about the whole buzz about the Super Bowl and what Verizon did there, and it's very interesting. I mean, it's definitely something that will be used from time to other in certain places. I'm absolutely sure. The only thing I don't like about the whole way it's been written about is that there are a few places where you can see that it's sort of implicated that we're talking Wi-Fi or LTE, which is completely the wrong message. I actually was at a congress not too long ago, and one of the operators there stated themselves that even with new spectrum that is going to be available soon to them, they were still estimating themselves that they will need almost the double of that before the end of just a few years. And it just so happens, Wi-Fi happens to be representing about the same chunk as they already have for LTE 3G and what have you. So there is no or in that discussion in my world. It's both, and they both have their strong points and their weak points and their different characteristics. And for example, I'm pretty sure that building out weak indoor coverage for coming IMS and that kind of service is just, there is no way the economy will scale better than if you do that with Wi-Fi. On the other hand, of course, big coverage outdoor and that type will never ever be competitive for Wi-Fi compared to LTE. So that's my take on it. I think both are needed. I think, to me, as I mentioned before, I have this notion of the experience continuity being sort of the collective name for all of the things that we provide today. One of those parts is the smart ANDSF, which is an incredibly important part that takes all the hype and the buzz around policy. This is something we actually developed before it became a buzz and a hype. We've got a solution that is proven by the market, and it's out there in millions and more millions of live handsets today. So it's sort of grown in accordance to what customers really need, and we've been adding on from ANDSF standards to follow all the parts and pieces that are available today. But we also incorporate, for example, Hotspot 2.0 things into smart ANDSF. So to me, it's pivotal to have a really good policy management that can blend dynamic data, dynamic knowledge, things that we do and learn and see, like Always Best Connected, straight on the device, and combine that with flexible policies that has all the notions and possibilities that you need to have to give it a service differentiation between, for example, different subscriber types or different networks and how they behave. So it's a very important piece of the experience continuity. My takeaway from Barcelona this year is that I was actually not here last year. I missed out on last year's Congress. So I sort of have this little year that was gone, and I come back here this year, and it's so incredibly much things going on that has to do with Wi-Fi, carrier Wi-Fi, all kinds of things. I mean, 2 years ago, I've heard from colleagues about how that sort of came about last year, but to me, who wasn't here until then 2 years ago, it's a giant leap in terms of how we discuss around net environments and the usage of Wi-Fi as yet just another part of all the data bearers that you need.